All right, so you should have your notes on Schoology. Now I'm going to go through our test review for a test on Wednesday. Reminder, all questions are either multiple choice or fill in the blank unless I tell you otherwise. So we'll start. There are 17 questions and it's worth 57 points. First question is going to be a short answer question. And we talked about, and it was the same, it was our last question on our last test. Stock market happened, and then these five things, four or five things, led us to the Great Depression. So it was stock market crash, and then this happened because this happened, and this was happening, and it was just a cycle that we talked about. Like I said, it was our question, our last question, last unit. It was our first review that we did. It's a concept that you got to understand how that works. So that's our first question coming out of the gate. Short answer. Back to multiple choice, fill in the blank. So the next question is you need to know about the group of professors that Roosevelt talked with when making some of these new plans. Next question, again, all multiple choice, fill in the blank. You need to know what the three R's are. We talked about Roosevelt and the New Deal. We had three R's. You need to you need to be able to tell me what the three R's are. We talked about how Roosevelt used the radio. He was the first president to use the radio to talk to American citizens on a more personal level. You need to know the name of those addresses from the radio. Our next one is you need to know the amendment that repealed the 18th Amendment and made the sale of alcohol legal again. Next question is you need to know about the lame duck amendment. So we talked about the lame duck amendment. So you need to know the number of the lame duck amendment. Next question. We talked about FDR in the Supreme Court and how many Supreme Court justices did FDR appoint during his presidency. Next question, we talked about the China and Japan starting a war. You need to know the name of the war. Next question, we talked about the leader of Italy and how Hitler looked up to him. You need to know that guy. Next question, we talked about the leader of Spain who led the revolt and started the Civil War in Spain. You need to know the name of that guy. In the German notes that I posted earlier today, we talked about Kristallnacht. You need to know what Kristallnacht is. Again, all these are either multiple choice or fill in the blank. And you need to know who Germany invaded to kick off World War II. Short answer questions. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 short answer questions to end the test. We talked about 3 different neutrality acts. We talked about the Neutrality Act of 35, 37, and 39. You should be able to tell me about those 3 acts. The Act of 35 did this, then the Act of 37 did this, and then the Act of 39 did this. So there's a couple things within each one of those that you should be able to tell me about. The next 3 things are a little bit out of order if you're following along in your notes, and I apologize for that. But as I go through, and we go through our different projects, sometimes I add some stuff, sometimes I delete some stuff. So that's kind of where we end up here. So that it gets added to the end of the test. But when we talked about FDR and we talked about the Supreme Court, we talked about something known as court packing. Explain what court packing is to me. We talked a little bit about the Dust Bowl, and we had some homework on the Dust Bowl and what caused the Dust Bowl. So you should be able to tell me a couple things about the Dust Bowl. And our last question, again, this is another short answer question, but our last question is on the Fair Labor and Standards Act. We talked about how it created these three things that we still use today. So 3 of these standards that were put forth are still in effect today. So you should be able to tell me what those are. And that is your test for Wednesday. If you got any questions about anything, shoot me an email and I'll be happy to get back to you. See you guys Wednesday. All right, bye.